Riot queen Denise Loden has turned red with anger.
I've decided only a handful of women belong on the track with me, and those who don't are going to get severely beat.
It's the Riot raging against the Hot Dice. Next on Roller Jam. From Orlando, Florida, and Universal Studios here in Orlando, this is Roller Jam. Those are the Jam Girls, and I'm Rory Marcus along with Lee Hawk Rearman, and we're very happy to have you with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as the Hot Dice get set to take on the Riot. And I want to talk about the Riot for a minute, Hawk, because tonight's a very special night for Richard Brown. King Richard gets a new crown tonight, commemorating his 5th decade of roller derby skating. And he's made some big improvements on the team, particularly the women. You know he has Denise Loden over here, but has also managed to pick up Amy Craig in a trade with the Quakes.
Well, absolutely. And King Richard, I think he's been in roller derby since before Hawaii was a state here in the Union. But you're absolutely right. King Richard, him, and with Ray Robles, you talk about a tandem. These guys get it done old, but they get it done ugly.
They are smart players. They know what they're doing on the track, and many times they win because of it. However, the Dice may not have the wisdom, but they certainly have the ability.
Well, if it's old versus new, the new are in the body of the X-Men and Shea Brown. And in the X-Men, we're talking about 2 for Tuesday. Jason McDaniel, he's young. Look at the enthusiasm on this kid. And, of course, you talk about Mark Webber. Sometimes his mouth is his own worst enemy, but these X-Men, they get it done young, they get it done great.
They might look goofy, but they're good. Believe me, the Dice and the Riot getting set to skate onto the bank track. The Nevada Hot Dice coming on the track, and some new warm-ups for them, too.
Well, they must have gone Christmas shopping all at the same place, because these guys look like some kind of, I don't want to mention any brand names, but I picture a boat and a couple of sails for these guys.
Now the Illinois Riot, they're waiting to come on the track. Richard Brown, Denise Loden, Amy Craig, they're loaded with talent, and here they come. The crowning glory to a glorious roller derby career for this guy to get a new crown tonight, to be in front of his adoring subjects, as he would probably refer to them. Richard Brown wears the old crown out, and he's going to get a new one here in just a few minutes.
I want the old one.
He'll sell it to you, maybe. He's not going to give it to you, I guarantee you that. The Dice would like to spoil his party a little bit. Weber looks incredulous over there. I'll go down and explain to him what that means in a minute. But right now, Broadway Danny Wolf is standing by with King Richard.
Well, thank you, Rory. That's right. We have a very special ceremony right now, fans, honoring a true living legend of this great sport of roller derby. And I'm talking about the self-proclaimed king of the WSL, Little Richard Brown, who tonight, when he steps on the track with the Riot in the second period, will begin his 5th decade on the bank track. And it all started for you in the mid-'60s with the San Francisco Bombers, the Bay Bombers, and of course in the 70s with the Philadelphia Warriors, other leagues and teams in the 80s. And ironically, when you came here in the 90s to the World Skating League, you founded the Hot Dice. Now you skate with the Riot. Truly an amazing accomplishment, a crowning achievement. And right now, Denise Loden has your new, oh, that is beautiful. Richard Brown, congratulations.
What do you expect of a king?
Well, truly great. What are you doing here, Weber?
Hold on there, King Richard. I got a little something to say. On behalf of myself and the Hot Dice you said you formed, I'd like to congratulate you. You did bring us up a little bit, but I'd like to do the honors in giving you the crown, please.
Very nice of Mark Weber here of the Hot Dice wants to crown Richard.
You know, this crown represents excellency, and you know, on top of excellency, X marks the spot.
What are you doing?
That is a shocking display by Mark Weber, and Robles is going to give it to him if he can. Weber actually was able to shear some of the hair from the king.
Well, Rory, he was trying to shave an X in the head. I don't know if he was successful, but he sure is successful at making the king mad.
He messed up the king's haircut. That's unacceptable. Coming back with the game in just a minute. We're back, and let me tell you just one little thing before we start this game. Believe it or not, there are rules in this game, and you're going to see them right now. The roller jam rules, there are four jam periods, 4 quarters to the game. The women will be out there, numbers 1 and 3, periods 2 and 4. The men take to the track. 2 jammers, those are the only ones who can score points. You'll see them with the black helmets, and 3 blockers. The blockers wear the white helmets. Points are scored when jammers lap team members from the opposing team. It'll be easy to figure out once we get into the game, Hawk.
Well, you know what, Rory? I didn't see no haircuts on there, so I guess Mark Weber's antics were okay. But our key matchup for the women, Denise Loden, she's the queen. We got a lot of royalty here from Illinois. She's 5'8", 135, and she is fast. She's mean. She can block and jam. And Denise and Shea Brown, one of those young guns that make up this whole Dice squad. She wants to stake her claim to royalty here in the World Skating League. And I tell you what, she's going to do it tonight if she has her say.
She may be able to do it as we get set to go. The first period of this game. The Dice and the Riot ready to go. The Dice have the white uniforms with the green, and the Riot have on basically whatever they want, especially when you look at Loden in that bright red outfit. But I think it looks pretty good right now, as out on the first jam of the night, a couple of Dice jammers get out, and immediately they knock the Riot jammer out of the play. So the Dice have a chance to score some points here, as Gina Lombardo went down pretty easily. And that's Belinda Morgan along with Shauna Brown. Now, Shauna Brown is indeed Shea Brown's sister. So they're both with the Hot Dice now. And a chance to get an early lead in this game for the Hot Dice. Denise Loden goes back and says, come on up here. Let me rip this elbow right into you. There's the left one. She's got a right and a left, and so far it's been pretty tough for the Dice to score any points. They haven't been able to get by Loden at all, and they have 10 seconds left in this jam. Oh, man, from out of nowhere, Shea Brown knocks Denise Loden down, and they do get the points. What a start to the game for Shea Brown.
And similar to her male counterpart, Jason McDaniel, the enthusiasm of Shea Brown comes through, but Shauna Brown, Shea Brown's sister, looked like she was having a little bit of trouble with Denise Loden. But Shea Brown steps up, gives her the clothesline, and the result is points for the Hot Dice, Rory. What an addition Shauna Brown is to this Hot Dice lineup.
Maybe she was just sticking up for her sister, saw that she was having trouble with Loden and said, here, let me give you a little hand, and boy, did she ever. And now Shea Brown grabs the Jammer's helmet and gets out there with Amy Craig. I'll tell you what, Amy Craig and Denise Loden skated together in the All-Star game, and all of a sudden, they wind up on the same team. How in the world do you think that happened? And when Amy gets out there on the jam, it's Loden who pulls Shea Brown down, and that gives Craig a chance to score some points. Richard Brown is not unintelligent when it comes to procuring talent for his team, and Amy Craig will be another great addition. Shea Brown back there trying to put a stop to her attempt to score, and doing a pretty good job of it right now. But here comes Loden, and payback, huh? Denise Loden knocks Shea Brown down and gets the point for Amy Craig.
Denise Loden says, hey, two can play at that game. Jam before Shea Brown sticking up for her sister Shauna, but you got the new addition, Amy Craig, coming through, mixing it up with Shea Brown, a mismatch in size and power, but Denise Loden, the queen, lowers the boom on Shea Brown. Hey, young lady, I'm still the queen of this thing, don't you forget it.
What a great play by Denise Loden, makes it 2-1. They just got 1 point there. Denise Loden, you might notice, no longer blonde, but I like that red hair, and that red outfit, a terrific look for her as the jam gets underway, and Crystal Schneider's out there for the Hot Dice with Amy Craig again, and Shauna Brown chasing for the Dice. 2-1, the Dice have the early lead in this game as Craig takes a shot right to the neck. Man, these skaters are resilient. These are tough athletes. You get hit a baseball player like that, he's out for 3 weeks. And Amy Craig rips through the middle and knocks down the double block, and now Shea Brown's waving her up and saying, come on, let's see if you can get through here. And the first time she tries it, she doesn't make it. Laura Weintraub forming the double block along with Shea Brown. Craig jumps up into the air. Whoa! It's like beating him to the wolves. Loden was waiting, and Amy just kind of pushed her in there. And Shea Brown might be hurt.
Well, she ought to be hurt. Denise Loden with the, quote, queen bee move. I saw him working on it in practice this week. And you got Hot Dice all over the track. But Amy Craig coming over on that big trade from the Quakes. Little help from her friend. What a tandem, Denise Loden with the queen bee move to everybody in the Hot Dice. And Amy Craig making, they're not finished yet, Rory. We talked about it at the top of the key matchup. Shea Brown and Denise Loden go after it.
Get moving right now. Get your helmet and go.
Sean Corbin telling Shea Brown, get your helmet and go. And I'm telling you, man, she looks like a cave woman. Just stepped out of the cave, and she's not in a good mood.
Go get him.
Well, if looks could kill, our cameraman would need a new lens because he'd have a shattered, what's that thing called, an iris on his camera? I don't know, Rory.
A lens.
You're a production guy. What do I know?
4-2, the Riot. They've taken the lead in this game, and this is the final jam of this first period, the women's period. And Shauna Brown sneaks through on top of the Hot Dice, gets a whip from her sister Shea, and goes after Norma Marshall. Meanwhile, Millie Guthrie got out of the pack as well, but Shauna Brown knocks Marshall out of the play. So it's Guthrie and Brown. Shauna Brown with the Hot Dice, Millie Guthrie of the Riot. There's a good shot right there, but it didn't knock Guthrie down. In fact, it gets a warning from Sean Corbin about that high elbow. That'll do a lot of good. I'm sure they always listen to that. There's another elbow right to the same spot. 4-2, and finally, Shauna Brown takes Millie Guthrie out of the play. But it's no bonus when she gets back there because Loden is waiting. Since she joined the Riot, Denise Loden has been even tougher than she was before this.
Uh-oh!
Whoa! That couldn't feel very good. Shea Brown likes it. And once again, helping out her sister. Shauna Brown gets the points, and Shea Brown gets the big block, and now there they go again. Loden and Shea Brown.
Sean Corbin's got his work cut out for him, but Denise Loden and Shea Brown, we'll be seeing this all night, but what an addition Shauna Brown's been to this Riot franchise. She came over from the Riot. You see her coming up onto the Denise Loden queuing up, but the roll them bones by Shea Brown. Hey, older sister, cut on through for some points.
And that's only one period in the books. We're tied up at 4. Denise Loden's had a tough night already, but right now she's with Broadway Danny Wolf.
That's right, Rory. A tough first period for Denise. You just took the roll the bones from Shea Brown. I think you hit the ground so hard it turned your hair from blonde to red.
You know what, Danny? My hair's not red because of all the bones. I heard Rory had a thing for redheads.
Good luck, Denise.
Thanks.
What was
All
that?
my dreams are coming true, Hawk. We'll throw to commercial.
I want the
Thanks,
guys in the
Denise.
truck to cue that back up. I'm going to watch that over the break.
We're back in Orlando. The score is tied at 4. And I've got to tell you, really, I was disappointed in Mark Webber. That wasn't the moment to try to embarrass Richard Brown. He did do it, however. Let's find out what he has to say about it. He's with Broadway Danny Wolf.
Yeah, I'm here with Mark, and I'm going to ask you, why did you shave Richard Brown's head?
This league is old and boring. I did it for a good time. Everybody in this house liked it. They just...
It's not funny to shave someone's head on national TV. That's humiliation.
Look, I thought it was funny, and everybody in here thought it was funny, so if you don't think it's funny, you have no sense of humor.
Mark the Barber Webber adding hairstyling to his repertoire. His first victim, the King. Well, he'll have his chance to add some rolled M bones and some Supermen to his new arsenal, Rory, because he's going to be going after King Richard. King Richard, new crown, new haircut. Same old Richard Brown, though, Rory. He's always got plenty in his bag of tricks.
Let me tell you something. You embarrass Richard Brown, and you better watch your back on the track because he doesn't forget about things like that. And right now, Mike Tanner could glance over his shoulder and see a couple of guys behind him, but Tanner's out there in front of the jam. Look at those baggy shorts and orange shirts these guys are wearing now for the hot dice. They look like they're at a skateboard park rather than skating in a professional league. And right now, everybody's going down as Beckstein gets through there. Look at Richard Brown. Oh, I told you he'd go after Webber. Brown's all over him. A knee to the face and a shot to the back. And now Robles is going to come over and say, you don't do that to my king.
Oh, man, if these guys needed anything to get them going, we saw at the top, they start out with the intros, Rory, up in the stand, starting a riot. Well, that riot continued, focused on Mark Webber.
I told you he better watch his back, and when Brown got a chance, he went right after him.
Let's go.
Wow. Young man, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. Those clippers aren't doing him much good right now, are they?
Well, he can wear a helmet while he's at work. That helps. I don't know what he'll do when he's at home. Just wear the crown, I guess. 6-5 the score. The Dice now have the lead, and here comes the second jam of this match. Oh, man. Did you see Mo Sanders get sent into that rail as he tried to sneak out on that jam? He got hit hard. So the Dice get the only jammer out. That's Jason McDaniel. And Jason comes up to the back of the pack where Richard Brown is waiting. And the King puts the hip into him. Whoa, that knocked Jason McDaniel for a loop, and he's slow to get up.
Did somebody say McDaniel? He goes down again, Rory.
Oh, he goes down because Travis Wills gives him a shot. And McDaniel's having a tough night already. Here's Webber, picks up Wills and throws him to the track. Look at this guy.
He passed him on the flip.
Almost a demonic look on his face, and Will says, what just happened?
But Rory, this illustrates the frustration that a lot of the Dice fans have had with Mark Webber. He gets in these kinds of melees and shows up with this unbelievable physical ability, but it's too few and far between. But just look at the physical power of this young man, Mark Webber. But if he could do that all the time, he would emerge as the star he talks about himself as being. And Jason McDaniel,
look at that. He's trying to shave his head again. Is he out of his mind? Sean Corbin finally got those shears away from him. And I don't know if Webber even knows who Floyd the Barber was, but maybe that's his idol.
but this is the kind of behavior that Jason McDaniel is getting frustrated with, Rory. Mark Webber's supposed to be a blocker, nowhere to be seen. Jason McDaniel gets taken down a couple of times, but he only shows up to cut Richard Brown's hair.
Let's go.
I'm with Jason McDaniel. This kid, if he would just play once in a while instead of squawking, he'd be the dominant player in the league.
I agree, and McDaniel's attitude has been, well, what can I do? He's my teammate. I'll just shut up and play and let Webber do what he does, which is probably about all he can do. The Riot get a couple of jammers out. Mo Sanders this time was able to get out of that pack instead of getting his face put into the rail. And he gets out along with his teammate Mike Tanner and Christian Salvia, but takes up the chase for the Hot Dice. So it's 2-on-1. The Riot have the advantage. Let's see if Salvia can outmaneuver him. He's a pretty good skater, but he cannot do it this time. As they get to the back of the pack now, and Ray Robles is hanging out back there. Mo Sanders is trying to get by Weber. Robles is going to give him a little help. Here comes Ray. Oh, the skates into the back of Weber, and both jammers go by. That's a veteran maneuver. Robles may not be the youngest cat in town, but he's learned a few tricks. And Mo Sanders is happy about it, celebrating, saying, I got the points. Did you see that? And look at Ray.
I don't know what the heck he's saying. Is that Spanish? Denise Loden likes it. She seems to have recovered from her little flirtation with you, Rory, but those quad skates, a lot of people say they're no good for this league, but they're good for one thing. They create a nice, even platform for the back of Mark Weber.
She's right, man. I love that red hair. We'll see more of it when the third period starts. 10-6. Now 9-6 is the score in favor of the Riot. On the jam goes Jason Beckstein. And Travis Wills is with him. There's their 2-on-2. Oh, man. The Riot Jammers are down and out as Jason McDaniel and Jason Beckstein, the two Jasons for the Hot Dice, trying to get them back even in this game. 9-6 is the correct score. Richard Brown to block. Feeling a little sad about his hair, maybe. But if you wear a helmet and a crown all the time, what's the difference? Oh, now he's feeling even sadder. The Jammers get up and go by as Richard tries to recover in the infield, holding his chest. And look at the young Hot Dice players. Here's where they excel. Blasting that pack apart. Beckstein and McDaniel get the points. There's Jason McDaniel, one of the great skaters in this league. What is Ray Robles doing? He's got a little baggie of some kind.
I don't think he's going to bake a cake, Rory.
Ray Robles grabs something in his hand and,
oh no!
Man, right into the face. Looked like some kind of chili powder, maybe. Into the face and eyes.
Let's go. Throw my finger.
Of Mark Weber. Trying to recover now. Players from both sides. We're going to take a break. We're at halftime. Don't go away. 12-9, the Dice lead it. Welcome back. Rory Marcus and Lee Hawk Rearman at Roller Jam Arena tonight. The Dice leading the Riot by a 12-9 score. We've had quite a first half, but for the Riot, it ended, I don't want to say tragically, but certainly on a bad note, with Ray Robles breaking his finger on that last play. You probably saw it. It was certainly dislocated, if not broken. And Ray was trying to throw a little chili powder into somebody's face. That's an old trick, by the way. Ralphie Valadares used to do it, the late, great Ralphie, and too bad for Ray. But I'll tell you what, that first period when the women were on the track, things really got off to a big start with Shea Brown and Denise Loden going after each other right away. There you see Amy Craig of the Riot pushing the two Dice Jammers into Denise Loden, who, by the way, looks resplendent in her red hair. But a little bit later on, Shea Brown got some revenge against Loden from out of nowhere almost. Wham! Down on her back on the track. The women's period was tough.
Well, don't think the men left off, because you see Ray Robles before he broke his finger, apparently, going after Mark Weber. It was a tough second period for that young man, and it's all because early he took the clippers during a ceremony to the king. And be careful what you wish for. I said it before. You just might get it.
We've talked about it, how Mark Weber tried to shear the hair from King Richard during the crowning ceremony. How does Richard feel about all this? Let's find out now. He's with Broadway Danny Wolf.
Thank you, Rory. Let's hope we don't have any interruptions during this ceremony. Let's make this thing official. Richard, your 5th decade. What happened earlier when Weber came in here, I mean, he turned your nice do into a definite don't. But right now we have the crown. Richard, I wouldn't want to be Mark Weber in the second half.
Thank you. I am sick and tired of this. I promised my mother that I would tone it down this year. I am sorry, Mom, but Mark Weber has caused consequences and repercussions. He is not going to be able to do that and get away with that. You do not treat a king with disrespect. Mark Weber, you will be bowing down to me, and everyone in this league is going to pay for the insults that that idiot has wreaked upon me, trying to make this beautiful, handsome man
That should make the Queen, Mother Brown, feel better. Let's find out more now about Jason McDaniel of the Nevada Hot Dice.
Today's premier athletes are truly incredible. But unfortunately, they'd rather tell us how great they are rather than actually proving it. The WSL is just the same, but there is one exception. The WSL features big egos.
Oh, Daddy!
And even bigger mouths.
How many times do I have to tell you people I'm the real king? I'm the real king.
I'm a genius.
But Jason McDaniel is a man of action, not words. He does all of his talking with his skates.
McDaniels is a great skater. He sets the standards for all jammers in this league.
Jason McDaniel's natural talent is untouchable. Too bad he's on a team that doesn't know how to use it.
McDaniel's aerial acrobatics extend off the track. In Central Skate Park in St. Petersburg, Florida, we watched in awe as McDaniel soared through the air with the grace of an eagle. After a long day of rails and high-flying ramp action, McDaniels wanted to express this philosophy.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The skaters in the league need to just shut up and skate.
One of the terrific young players in the WSL, Jason McDaniel. The second half is coming up. Stay with us. This is a great crowd here tonight. They've really been into the action, and why not? There's been a lot of it. Second half ready to go. That means period number 3, and that means the women are on the track once again. And we'll see if Shea Brown and Denise Loden pick right up where they started. And you know what? They will, because they both have Jammers helmets on. And getting out also on the jam for the Hot Dice is Belinda Morgan. So both teams have 2. Oh, my goodness. Denise Loden just sent Shea Brown reeling. She didn't care about scoring the point. She just wanted to make a point, and she did. And now, Amy Craig and Belinda Morgan. Craig grabs Morgan by the back of the neck and sends her down. I don't know if she had that move when she was with the Quakes, but over here with the Riot, anything goes. Shea Brown and Laura Weintraub form the double block. Loden's ready. And Loden clotheslines both of them. Denise is having a big game. Amy Craig gets the points.
And we thought the tandem of Debbie Rice and Denise Loden was something to look out for. Well, I tell you, this Amy Craig-Denise Loden matchup, this dynamic duo, this is something that Debbie Rice could not do, and that's add a physical punch to her speed, but Amy Craig does, and her and Denise Loden are just wreaking havoc on these young Hot Dice, Rory.
I could see it happening during the All-Star game. Hawk with Loden and Amy Craig ran a couple of plays together. You thought to yourself, wow, wouldn't they be something on the same team? Well, obviously, Loden and probably King Richard were thinking the same thing, because now here they are with the Riot, and they're doing a good job. Don't grab that red hair. Shea Brown and Denise Loden, who throws the helmet off and wants to go after Brown. And here they come right down that straightaway. Shea Brown looking to score some points for the Dice, and at the same time inflict a little damage on her rival.
Whoa.
And Loden says, turnabout's fair play. You've got a long hair there as well. She grabs it and pulls it down. And Loden just slides through smoothly to get the points. 2 Riot points. You see that little move there? A little kick to the back of the skate by Loden to Belinda Morgan, and here's a little more.
She's not done, Rory. I think this whole theme we're sticking with of hair has got Denise Loden a little bit riled.
Wrong side.
Penalty box for Loden.
I don't know what it is about the game tonight, but everybody seems to want to go to the hair of somebody. First we see Richard Brown getting a new style. Now we see our 2 marquee women, Shea Brown and Denise Loden, going after it. Those aren't handlebars. That's a nice head of hair, Denise Loden.
There she is. She's all business on the track, I tell you that. 13-12, the Riot have grabbed the lead in this one. And Shea Brown just leveled Amy Craig, who was trying to get out of the pack and score some points. Instead, the Dice get their jammers out.
Well, let's see if the Dice can take advantage of Denise Loden being in the penalty box with the power jam, Rory.
Shauna Brown and Belinda Morgan jamming and trying to catch from behind is Gina Lombardo of the Riot. Gina Lombardo's another new addition to this team. They've really stocked it up here with the Riot. Now they're going to see if they can get rid of her, which they do, and now they'll go through the double block of Millie Guthrie and Norma Marshall. Shauna Brown says, wait a minute, here comes my sister. She'll help us. She always does. Shea says, follow me, big sister. Let's see if they can get through that double block now. Oh, yeah, I think they can. Shea Brown makes a big play, and they get the point. 4 points. And Belinda Morgan, who was just leveled by Denise Lowden a minute ago, celebrates.
Well, that's what these youthful dice can do, Roy. They're very resilient. They're down one moment, the next they come back and bite you in the fanny. But it's just like they probably planted in the sandbox at the Brown household a few years back. Shea and Shauna getting it done like they did in their younger years, I'm sure.
Probably against one another back then. 16-13 the score now, and Millie Guthrie's able to elude Shea Brown for a moment and get out there. See that outfit Shea Brown has on? That was made for her by her mother.
I didn't see it.
Stacy, believe it or not.
I didn't see Denise Lowden's outfit either, Roy.
Her mother, Stacy, made her that, and proud to see her daughter wearing. 16-13, the Dice have the lead.
You think King Richard made Denise Lowden's outfit?
I don't think the king can sew. He doesn't have to. He has a seamstress of his own. Millie Guthrie trying to get by Shea Brown. There's Shauna Brown as well. Let's see if Amy Craig can stop Shauna Brown from getting through. The Jammers kind of hit the back of the pack together. And they're both getting points for both sides. Oh, Lowden just putting those skates into the knees of Shea Brown. That's a little dirty pool right there. Uh-oh, here they go again.
I don't know where these two find their energy, Rory.
They've got plenty of it. I think they feed on each other. 17-15, the Dice lead.
You get the score on that?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've always been waiting for. Broadway Danny Wolf talking to a referee, Sean Corbin.
Yeah, there's been an abundance of fighting in this game, referee Sean Corbin. When are you going to enforce some order, especially with Weber and Brown?
Well, order's going to start being enforced now. We've already had one broken hand, and let me assure you, I have a pocket full of ejections, and I'm going to start handing them out like candy.
Wow, that was a popular guy in the interview, wasn't it?
I have a whole bag full of shh with your name on it. That was a preemptive shh.
He said a pocket full of ejections.
Pocket full of ejections. And he may turn Robles' broken finger into a broken hand. That'd be even worse for Ray. Sorry, Ray. If you're watching this game at the hospital and they're working on your finger, tell them it's just the finger. Jason Beckstein of the Hot Dice and Mo Sanders of the Riot get out there. Let's see if Corbin really does throw anybody out of this game. Beckstein and Sanders reach the back of the pack, and Sanders says, well, wait a minute, I'm surrounded by Dice. He takes Beckstein down, and then Brown knocks down the Dice blockers. Big play by Brown. Sanders is able to sneak through there and get some points. And look at Mo getting past Weber now. Mo Sanders celebrates, scoring 4 points for the Riot, putting the Riot back on top, 19-17. He says, I got 5. Corbin says, no, you got 4, and here's you got trouble now for Weber and Brown.
Sean Corbin threatened to toss these guys out. Let's see if he puts some bite behind his bark.
Well, Weber should get tossed for that, breaking free of the referee to continue the fight.
Oh, no. Who are these guys?
That's arena security as the fight continues. If they don't get thrown out for this, they never will.
There's another one. Am I seeing double?
You're out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. They're gone. Get rid of both of them. Get out of here.
They have both been thrown out of the game. Mark Weber and Richard Brown, that's no way to treat a king in his 5th decade of roller derby, but out he goes.
The World Trade Centers took him out.
Yeah, those must be friends of Corbin's. They look at ejection slips together. And look at that. Corbin got a little bloody lip for his troubles. Man, oh man, has this been a tough, tough game. Corbin goes over and says, I need a towel, I need something.
I know. Can you even see it? That's that way, you just a little bit of blood. It's inside? Go like this. It's inside? Yeah.
Those referees have to be tough too, huh? Shake it off, pal. There's still a game to play.
Well, two people that haven't fought here tonight, Rory, are the two broadcasters, you and myself, and I hope that we don't get involved, especially with those two twin towers that took out Richard Brown and Mark Webber. Wow.
So now the Riot, already they were without Robles. Now they're without Brown. They're two leaders on the men's squad, and they still have 3 jams to go in this period. Do you think they can pull this game out? I don't know. Jason McDaniel thinks he can do it, and McDaniel's out there against Mike Tanner of the Riot. This would seem on paper maybe to be a little bit of a mismatch. McDaniel whacks Tanner, and I thought so. Tanner's a good skater, but McDaniel is one of the best in the league, and he might be able to give the Dice the lead right here. So instead of Brown or Robles back there to block, there's Brian Gamble. He's not bad. Now the pack's all tied up, and here comes McDaniel. Oh! Now that's more what I have in mind when you think of leadership. Here goes some more fighting. Sean Davison's mad. Corbin better watch it. He's already bleeding out on the lip. And meanwhile, McDaniel doesn't even pay attention. He just says, what about that? My team has the lead. Great play by Jason McDaniel. They lead it 21-19. Don't go away now. We'll be right back. 21-19, the Dice lead the Riot, and what a game it has been. I'll tell you how you can get a good gauge on how badly these teams want to win. There isn't one person sitting on the benches. They're all standing, they're all cheering on the men's team. Both teams want this game. It's been physical enough that there are probably some ill feelings out there. And I don't know how the Riot can do it without their best players. Mo Sanders will try and take it upon himself. He gets out there against Christian Salvia. Salvia for the Dice in the orange, and Sanders goes down. Without their 2 veterans, the athleticism of the Dice might prevail here. Brian Gamble's a veteran, though. He's a pretty good player. He's a good blocker. He's tough. And he's back there to block. It's going to probably be up to Gamble if the Riot do pull this thing out. McDaniel slips back there, and McDaniel and Salvia now have something in mind for Gamble, I would think. Salvia hasn't been able to get by him on his own. McDaniel slides through on the bottom of the track. Oh! And what a move!
That's the rail biter, Rory.
He's done it again. Jason McDaniel is taking over the game. The jam goes on. Salvia gets the points. Gamble's mad. Everybody with a Riot uniform on is mad. But it's McDaniel's moment in the sun.
Well, Mark Webber was ejected a couple of jams ago. Jason McDaniel, for weeks, even before the All-Star break, had voiced his frustration with Mark Webber. Well, now he's out there all alone, and emerge he does. Last jam, he scores the points, and then with the rail biter, takes out the cagey veteran, Brian Gamble. Salvia gets the points. I tell you what, Rory, we're seeing a cataclysmic shift here for the Hot Dice.
Oh, I know. With Webber thrown out of here, it's up to McDaniel, and you talk about rising to the occasion. This guy's taken over the game. It's 23-19, the Dice, and Loden is understandably concerned, saying, come on. But it's just not the same Riot team without Robles and Brown. Brown tossed out of the game. Robles out with an injured finger. Looked like it was maybe a broken finger. We hope not, Ray, but it didn't look good. And here we go again. This time the Riot get their jammers out there, and McDaniel took the fall. Can the Riot possibly pull this game out without their big guns? Travis Wills and Mike Tanner will try and do it. They're trailing it by 4. If they could each get 2, they tie it. McDaniel's going to do the blocking. With no Webber here, it's all up to McDaniel. Oh, what a shot to take care of Wills. He puts the elbow into Tanner as well. 20 seconds left for the Riot to try and pull it out. What a job McDaniel is doing. And there's another one over the rail. Only 10 seconds now. McDaniel takes care of another one. I don't think they're going to get 4 points. And down hard goes Wills. McDaniel has kept them off the scoreboard and has almost single-handedly won the game for the Dice.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a new sheriff in town. His name's Jason McDaniel. Mark Webber, you better not stray too far from the arena because they might not let you back in, my friend.
Well, when you get down to business and stop fooling around out there, this is what you get. When you're as good a skater and as tough a player as McDaniel, he scored the points, and then he prevented the Riot points, and the crowd has gotten behind him as well.
Rory, the genie's out of the bottle. Jason McDaniel with the shackles of Mark Webber off. He got knocked down at the front of the jam, but he didn't lay on his laurels. He comes back to the back of the pack and makes it look easy. He was just toying with the Riot.
Tanner thought he could sneak by there and try and pull this game out for the Riot. It didn't quite work out that way, did it? McDaniel must be happy. You would sure think so. Let's find out. Broadway Danny Wolf, take it away.
All right, Jason, unbelievable performance by you. The leadership they needed when Webber got thrown out, you were amazing.
Man, Weber's doing his own thing out there. When he's off the track, it's time for me to step up, all right? Everybody knows that. Everybody knows what's up. Yeah!
And I'm very happy Jason McDaniel, definitely with leadership from the Hot Dice, pulled his team through. Back to you, Rory.
Thanks a lot, Broadway, and congratulations to Jason McDaniel and the Dice.